Welcome to Cozy Coven Chats with Jenny C. Bell, where we explore the journey of the witch. Hey witches, welcome to another Cozy Coven Chat. I am your host, Jenny C. Bell, and this is for the week of November 9th, and hopefully you're hearing this as Mercury is in retrograde, and who knows what is going to happen. I'm not a doomsdayer. You know, there's some people, like it seems like the only astrology they know is Mercury in retrograde and their sun sign. I know a little more than that, but you just never know. Just never know. I feel like Mercury in retrograde actually can be good for us because it forces us to slow down and revisit things. And so there is like a positive spin that you can take on it. So the positive spin is always, okay, things are kind of stopped communication-wise, travel-wise, so that I can go back over some of the things and kind of update and change things. It's actually, as a writer, it's really good editing kind of energy, as long as the editing is not on my computer, like it's paper and pen editing. But yeah, so I think it's a really good idea, if you haven't already done so, to spiritually cleanse your electronics with the selenite wand or a shungite piece or hope and love in your heart. And you know, it is what it is. The planets, it doesn't, they don't really like go backwards, just kind of appear that way to us, and they affect us and we roll with it. I think that's the best way to do it, is to roll with it. So yeah, this week we don't have a new moon or a full moon. We do have Mercury going in retrograde in Sagittarius. So you should definitely see where Sagittarius is in your own personal chart, and you'll kind of get a better view as to what this means for you. Let's pull our card and then we'll dive in. So our card for the week. See, last week we had the Emperor. So it's kind of strong masculine energy. We have more, what traditionally in the tarot is also a masculine card, the Knight of Cups. Now, as I said, I use the Modern Witches Tarot. So this is a lady with skinny jeans and a beanie and some pink tips in her hair, but she still has like eye on the prize energy. So the card is always a knight holding a cup on a horse. They're always on horses, the knights. But in this case, like really focusing on the cup. So it's almost like if you've ever been on a carousel ride with the ring, where you want to like grab the ring. It's that kind of energy of like, okay, I'm not even focused on what's ahead of me or where I'm going. I'm focused on what I'm holding. And I often think of this card too as very like, for those people interested in like the Holy Grail, right? It's very Holy Grail knight energy. It's like the holding the grail and like not letting it go. Knights of Templar type energy. But traditionally it's this confident, charming, maybe even charismatic, dreamy knight who's really not that interested in you. He's a player. She's a player. They're a player. They give this kind of energy of like, I'm in love with love. I like chasing love. Love is fun, but I don't really want to stick around. Well, sometimes we just want a good time, right? So what does that mean for us as energy for the week? Well, interesting, right? So last week we're in this kind of masculine doing energy. Night energy is often quick. Like when we look at timing of cards, the night energy always feels kind of fast. It's like chariot energy, or it's like we're moving quickly. So I feel like the week is going to move quickly. I feel like it's a week to focus on what fills your own cup. You might need it too if Mercury messes with you. You're going to need to nourish yourself, right? It's a week to think about, what are you chasing right now? What dreams are you chasing? What prize do you have your eye on? And whenever we have cups, the cups always have to do with emotion, love, relationships. So, there might be something to that. You might be going through a little something. You might need a little shift in the energy of a relationship or emotions. But yeah, so we'll have to see. It feels quick moving to me in this, like, I don't know, just in the context of this week. It feels like quick moving energy. It feels like some kind of epiphany on emotions or understanding of emotion. And it feels like we're going through with that taskmaster energy of last week. Even though Mercury's in retrograde, it still feels like this doing energy. So Mercury being in retrograde, I was kind of negative about it in the beginning. I always try to be positive every year. I'm always like, no, this is good. Like, I can revisit some things. But yeah, this is a time to slow down. Please triple, quadruple check all holiday traveling for yourself, right? It doesn't go out of retrograde, doesn't go direct until the 29th of this month. So if you're making holiday arrangements, you're booking airlines, hotels, just make sure to double, triple check those things. I remember I was newer to astrology, and I had made, we did like a road trip, and I had made the road trip plans in Mercury retrograde, not knowing, and I actually booked a hotel in a place we weren't going to be. Like, it was all planned out, but I had booked a hotel in a place we weren't going to be. We didn't get our money back, had to find a hotel when we got there. It's just those kind of mix-ups, right? So we really want to check all our travel plans. We want to read our text messages, our emails, especially to people who we aren't that close with, or we have a strained relationship with, or in the workplace. If you have a job interview, you really want to like think before you speak. This is slowing down communication. This is think before we speak. This is, check that you can't be misunderstood. Really like reread things. I am famous for just sending texts and then going back and being like, what did I even type? And like having to like fix all the spelling and grammar and stuff. I was an English teacher. But let's not do that. Let's not do that. This, Mercury in retrograde every year, what happens to me is I'll make some social media posts that have like major typos. So if you see that, just be kind to that creator. We're doing our best. Everybody's doing their best in this situation. So let's all be kind about the typos, and let's private message them instead of being like, hey, you did this, you dum-dum. So it's a time to be gentle with ourselves. That's what I'm getting at. Mercury in retrograde, we're just gentle with ourselves because, control is such an illusion. Like, we think in our little lives we have any control. Well, we really don't. Like, we can only control our reactions. So yeah, that's kind of my survival tips for Mercury in retrograde is like really double, triple checking all communication, all travel plans, and then allowing this to be a pause, to be like, you know what, let me think before I speak, which I often don't do. So this is always, I think that's why I take it hard every year. It's a hard hit every time Mercury goes into retrograde, which happens often enough. By now you think I'd know, but I don't. We are in November. What? I said that last week, but I'm still like in shock. And so officially for witches, Samhain is the new year. And so this is like new year energy. And then for everybody else, it's like end of year energy. And so it's kind of whatever feels aligned to you. You can feel both at the same time too. We're complex human beings, right? So whatever feels right. We are moving into, here in the United States, Thanksgiving time. And so something I wanted to talk about Thanksgiving and witchcraft is I don't know, I'm just a witch, but definitely I identify with like kitchen witchery for sure, but I wouldn't call myself just a kitchen witch. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It didn't mean like just in that way. It's just that I wear multiple pointy hats. So I do more than kitchen witch magic, but this is a time of year for kitchen witch stuff. Like, get in that kitchen. If you don't have like a little altar, I have one on my my windowsill where I do dishes. I like never close those blinds. I probably should, but I don't. And so there's like, it's where I keep these little saint cards, and I keep a couple plants. I keep some crystals. I always keep turquoise in the kitchen. I don't have a reason other than that just always feels right to me. And it's an expensive rock, I know, to keep in the kitchen, but I don't know. It just feels good. It's that heart chakra, throat chakra, softening, I don't know, lucky. It just feels good to me. So this is a time, I think, when we think about Thanksgiving, obviously think about gratitude, but we really think about like food as love. Yeah, I'm Italian American. So food as love and food as nourishment and comfort food. We talked about that last week. But yeah, like how can you invite in whatever is you like about Thanksgiving? Some people really don't like it, and I get it, with a lot of things, with having to be with family members maybe you don't want to be with, or maybe you don't really like those foods, whatever. Make it your own, first of all. But when we think about like the ideal of a Thanksgiving dinner, right? I think about Charlie Brown and Snoopy and their popcorn and all the friends there. And it's about that. It's about community. It's about sharing food. It's about nourishing yourself and others. How can you bring that into all of November? So, what are you doing right now to nourish yourself? Being on this slow living journey, being on the witch's journey, it's about spiritual evolution and this and that. But the thinning of the veils is like pretty rough energetically for a lot of us. It's a lot of headaches and tummy aches and being exhausted. And then we're moving into the darker parts of the year, the busy season of holidays. What are we doing to nourish? And what does nourishment mean to you? Does it mean vitamins? Does it mean soups? What does it mean? Like body nourishment? There's also soul nourishment. Something I really invite you to do in these colder months, when you're more indoors, is to create some good playlists or buy some good records. I have a record player, but really bring music in because we are outside less, right? Sunshine really brings up your vibe. Like whether you like the hot weather or not, doesn't matter. The sun is full of vitamin D. It's got what New Age people call light codes. Like the sun is so good for your overall happiness and vibe. Then when we're inside more, even if you like rainy weather, the vibe isn't the same. So what brings up the vibe? Music, good music. I studied with Kyle Gray for a year, and he always would talk about how the angels love music. He actually almost became a DJ. Fun fact. And the angels love music, and it's high. It brings your vibration up. It brings your happiness up. It brings you joy. And remember, like your purpose, your function is to be happy. That's something Kyle would always say, and I think about it all the time. And I can hear it like in my head in his little Scottish accent. But like, your function, your purpose is to be happy. Have you ever thought about that and like what that means? Like your actual point of coming here, Earthside. I feel like we have multiple lives, so you chose to come here at this very pivotal moment in astrology and in history and the planet. There's like all this turmoil, all this change, all this uncertainty. You chose to be here for a reason, right? And if you're happy, if you feel good, that affects everybody around you. That raises the happiness level of everybody else, right? Even if you just think about as a mother, right? I'm a mother. There's studies done that if the mother is happier, the whole family's happier. Like the whole family can feel when the mother's not happy, right? And so if you think about if your function, your purpose is to be happy, what are you doing each day to bring happiness? And so if we can't get outside and be in the sunshine, music, playlists. I've been making playlists before they were playlists. They were called mixed tapes, children. And we would record things off of the radio and make little mixtapes. And I loved making mixtapes. I made them for friends. I made them for myself. I would sit there painstakingly for like hours getting just the right like snippet of sound. Because I really loved like sometimes just putting like a scream in there and starting the playlist with like a good Courtney Love scream or something. And so music, I've heard so many witches talk about this, and it's 100% true. Music are spells, right? Poetry are spells. All the media we expose ourselves to affect our mind, body, heart, soul, spirit. They're spells. So putting on music that makes you feel good, that's a happiness spell. And it's simple. So some of my favorite feel-goods are Stevie Wonder. That would be top number one. Love Stevie Wonder. I feel so happy whenever I hear Stevie Wonder. Some of my favorite songs are by Stevie Wonder. I just feel like a different level of joy listening to Stevie Wonder. So if you've never given him a good listen, please do that. I also feel that way about Aretha Franklin. Always feel like I can sing along, I can dance along. I love the Beatles. 100%, a million times love the Beatles. We have all their stuff on record. I have collected some of their books over the time. I love George's solo stuff and John's solo stuff. We went and saw all of like Ringo's drum set and clothes at the Grammy Museum. We went and saw the Love Show in Vegas. Like, I love the Beatles. So much so that we had like a big Abbey Road poster in our office, because when we originally only had one child, we had an office. And then we had these Beatles coasters, and our daughter, when she was little, would take the Abbey Road coaster and match it to the poster, and then wanted to know everybody's names. Because I think when you think about it, like as a child, you're growing up, you're seeing these men all over the house. You probably think they're important. Like my parents honor them or worship them, or maybe they're family members. I don't know what her toddler brain thought of it, but she learned all of them. And George was her favorite. So George is still my favorite. And so, yeah, the Beatles, super happy music. It doesn't have to be like music that's cool. I really love Disney music. Disney music is proven to make you happier. Studio Ghibli movies and open world games like Zelda are proven to make you happier. Listening to those soundtracks. I love the Lord of the Rings music. Like, it just feels so epic. Like you're doing a chore and you're just listening to Lord of the Rings. It just makes you feel like you're on some kind of quest. Super fun. I love New Kids on the Block because I'm from that time period. Love a boy band. I have a whole Bromancing the Boy Band Past playlist. Love it. I love Madonna, early Madonna especially, like 80s holiday and like prayer brings my vibe up. I love Shakira because I love to dance. Shakira's good cleaning music. Love her music for cleaning. I love belly dancing. So these are the things I'm talking about. So winter, high vibe, happy music, musicals too. If you've never seen The Wiz with Michael Jackson, Diana Ross, at least listen to the soundtrack. Ease on Down the Road is probably in my top 10 favorite songs of all time. Love that song. I loved that movie as a kid. Loved Michael Jackson. Still love Michael Jackson music. I'm able to separate the man who's questionable in my mind from the music and just love the music because it was my whole childhood. I had a doll and everything. But yeah, what music makes you feel happy? What are your comfort TV shows? You know, I have a friend that watches Friends all the time. It's like her comfort show. I don't really have a comfort show like that, but I have movies like Practical Magic that I like to watch. So let's bring in those things. Let's bring in the daily joy of, you know, I really love the soundtrack. I'm the only one. So that's why we have headphones and earbuds, right? Like no one needs to know what you're listening to. And doing little hobbies that make you happy, coloring, crocheting, knitting, needlepoint, painting, collaging, doing crafts just for crafting. And then, you know, like I've made so many bracelets. And I love this about our town. We have a little like art giveaway, which thank goodness, because sometimes it's just fun for me to make it, but I don't actually want to wear it. So that's good. Just give it to someone else. So yeah, like let's invite more joy in. Okay. So our journal questions are, if we go back to our Knight of Cups, what are you currently chasing? And is it worth the chase? Right? We're getting to the end of the year. I personally start kind of winding things down and I'm not pushing the manifesting as much. So are you chasing something? Is it worth it? Do you have any one-sided relationships? Because that's the other thing about this Knight of Cups. So are there any relationships right now and you're like, you know, I'm just kind of like talking to a wall here. And if so, how can that change that? How can you change that? It might be nothing right now because Mercury's in retrograde. You might not want to have that conversation, but you can start to think about it. What do you need to pause on? So we talk about Mercury in retrograde. What needs pause in your life? What are things you're just like, you know what? That's not important right now. Yeah. And then overall, take a look this week at communication. Like who are you communicating with on a daily basis and how are you doing so? Mercury in retrograde is a good time to like observe communication in your life because it slows you down. So it's like, okay, who am I talking to every day? What's that conversation like? Am I telling my loved ones I love them every day? If not, do I want to do that? Like, is that something that feels good? Those kinds of things. So I hope Mercury is kind to you in this retrograde and I hope you have a great week. Blessed be. As always, thank you for listening. Please subscribe and share with a friend. If you haven't already done so, be on the lookout for my book, Spirit Crystals. Discover your crystal guide for healing and empowerment. Available wherever you buy books.